Good subdued morning to you. I'm in Guelph right now picking up a cube van. Unusual vehicle to go rockhounding in, but it is my intention to use a cube van. Reason being, I'm helping someone move up in the Bancroft area, so I'm picking up the van in Guelph. Quite enticing are the actual pictures on the side of the van. I'm kind of hoping for this one, the Michigan, Michigan Magic Mushroom Experience. Single organism in Crystal Falls, weighs 110 tons. Anyway, we've got all sorts of other choices. A camel. Oh, there's one. I haven't seen that one. Top secret for Alberta. Don't know what that is. The camel for the Yukon. They definitely got stuff all screwed up here at Uhaul, but anyway, I guess I'm going to do the 10-footer here. It's not a lot to move, and after that, I think I'm stopping at the Grace Lake road cutting there and look for a bit of tremolite. A couple more videos to follow after that. I've got something interesting on the Comet mine coming, and a little bit of work on the Polariscope, which is a really handy tool for identifying various crystals. Guys, you could almost make a real road experience out of spotting the Uhaul trucks, trying to get the different pictures. Look at this. The ghost orchids of the wherever Strand State Park in Florida. Ghost orchids. Bay of Fundy. Oh man. Maybe I should just cancel the trip entirely and just hang out at the Uhaul lot. See all the different trucks coming in. Not a bad idea. Definitely one of my favorites, Kentucky Mammoth Caves. I went to Friars Hall once down in West Virginia. Not once, several times actually, for some real good caving, and gotta admit, wish I was doing more caving. Just Ontario's a little limited, nothing like West Virginia, Tag, you know, those kind of areas. Love caving. There'll be more videos on them sometime soon. Oh, look what's peeking out from behind this truck. Real Chamber of Horror stuff. What's this, Manitoba? Oh my goodness, 150,000 red-sided garter snakes of the world's largest concentration of vertebrates. Oh, sounds just horrendous. That doesn't entice me to go to Manitoba. Yeah, I think I'm going to ask for the alien if I can get the alien here. Something to do with Roswell. Yeah, I gotta have the alien. Look, he's here. It's my fat golden retriever Derby. I've made a special request for the alien. I think I'm a bit screwed, but hey, you're going rockhounding. Looks like I've stirred up a real hornet's nest with this alien thing. They're having to confer because it's not the van in the front and stuff, or the truck in the front. Let's keep our fingers crossed. And I wanted the alien. They've got us the rhinoceros. That sucks. Yeah, I know. There was no chance of getting the alien?
The alien, no.
There goes Derby and Maggie. Guys, I've just seen a Uhaul with a giant squid on the side. I think this has opened up a whole new avenue of interest and excitement with road travel. Well done, Uhaul. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be going to the Grace Lake area, looking at the famous Grace Lake road site exposures, and we're looking for tremolite and diopside. So now when we talk about tremolite in a crystal form is what a rockhound is looking for. Tremolite in a fibrous form is an asbestos, which is carcinogenic and not a good thing. So you're looking for the tremolite crystals. You're not likely to find fiber in this location. It's just not how it's formed. So the tremolite exists in what is known as a series. Tremolite, actinolite. That is the series. The series occurs when the ions are interchangeable. So for example, magnesium is what makes the tremolite. Iron is what makes the actinolite. These two can interchange within the chemical formula, and that is what's going to make either the actinolite or the tremolite. Now, tremolite occurs in silicous-rich rocks that are derived from a magnesium base, for example, dolomite or dolostone. Dolostone has magnesium within it, which is what differentiates it from the limestone. And diopside, which is also found at this location, occurs when the tremolite has been heated further than is required to make it into tremolite, and then it evolves into the diopside. So both of these can be found at the location. You may remember from previous videos on Grace Lake that there's some pretty incredible specimens that have been found here of tremolite, large, the size of a milk carton, they say, just underneath the tree roots. I myself have not found anything like that, but I've found some incredible color in some of the crystals that I've found. So the tremolite in this area that you're going to find here, it's a bright green. There's a tinting of iron which changes the color. If it's a pure magnesium tremolite, you're going to have just a white tremolite. That's quite rare to find. Usually with a bit of iron the color darkens up. It's also got what we'd call a vitreous to a silky luster, speaking somewhat of the fact that internally it is made of little spines which to your fingers is not a good thing. And so begins a beautiful fall morning here at Grace Lake. I always said the rock hounding was an experience beyond just simply finding the minerals, which it truly is. What a beautiful fall day. Leaves are out. Just an overall appreciation for, you know, nature around you is really something you require in order to continue as a rock hound. So okay, quick directions. You come over the hill, this is Burley Road. Here's your site. Some have suggested digging just underneath the tree line, where they found some very large tremolite crystals. There's also the lip, just underneath the lip. And my greatest success has been off to the left here. So just at the very top of the hill, just underneath the trees and the soil, you hit this calcite layer. Lots of little green crystals within it. Some orangey patches of calcite. So lying here right next to the hole, I'm finding some crystal faces of what appears to be diopside, very clear, lovely sort of greenish, grass green diopside. Just fragments of it, but it says obviously that's what else is coming out of there. Might be an idea to get some calcite and dissolve it with the HCl, the acid, and the crystals will drop out. There's another sort of shard of a diopside crystal. It's coming out of this really granular green rock. I can see the rocks laying all around it. This is the granular stuff right here. This is what it's coming out of, which is again coming from the hull. I think I will spend a bit of time in the hull, see if I can find diopside. So you got a layer in there that's kind of reddish pink calcite mixed in with the sort of granular green, and a lot of that's diopside, but the diopside seems more concentrated right along wherever the pink patches occur. The diopside seems to grow into it, and quite smallish crystals. I don't doubt they're much larger ones too, based on the shards that I found. So here's a nice chunk. You can see the pink calcite, you can see a nice big diopside crystal sitting on top. This is going to require a bit of dissolving, I'm afraid. I'm not going to try and remove it. The crystals are quite fragile. I can see lots of other smaller ones within the calcite. So that's something I'm taking home as is and working on it. So I can actually see some nice crystals along the bottom there, but that whole hump is all calcite. So I'm thinking I'm going to extract just some large chunks of calcite and either see what occurs where it joins the rock underneath that is not calcite, or see what is within the calcite by dissolving with acid. So some years back, Jeff and I found this particular seam here, and this is where we found some beautiful, beautiful tremolite crystals right into the side there. So up top here you can see the smoky quartz capping this particular hump of rock, and that's typically what the tremolite is associated with. As you see it dark, often a reflection of radiation. Poking around underneath the moss here, I can already feel a tremolite crystal face. You can see it right there. There's another spine of tremolite sticking out right there. So this is kind of a weakness. I'm going to exploit this just a little bit, just see if it brings out some nice crystal faces for me. You know, it's soft and so forth, so you never know. You got some dirt in there, I'll bet you there's more tremolite underneath poking out somewhere. I'll take the chisel to it, see what happens. So this whole hump that I'm working on here This is basically the smoky quartz impregnating into the other, rock. It's all going to have tremolite within the fissures. Seems down at this level in particular though. So I mean, if you're here, you want to kind of work your way around. We've only got a small trench here right now, but you want to work your way around, and you'll keep finding these things in pockets. That's where you'll find the beautiful crystals. You don't want to find it within the rock itself. You're never going to get that out. You want to find pockets where the crystals intrude into the space, and that's how you find a really nice form. So as you can see, there's the crystal I'm trying to get. I'm attempting to sort of work around it and pop the whole rock off so as not to damage the crystal, but as I was doing so, I opened another little pocket with some smaller crystals. I really can't tell what they are right yet. I'll have to look at them up close when I get them home. So, looking here, this little furrow, you can see a few tremolites up against the wall, but if you go down, the whole base of that furrow is all pure tremolite. You got to scrape the soil away carefully, maybe even with a brush, and you'll see it's all pure tremolite. Going into that crack there, if you could somehow, through a lot of work, open up the crack heading downwards in that direction, you would find some major, beautiful tremolite crystals exposed and with perfect form. Guarantee it. Also kind of creeping across the top there, you're likely to find some in the soil underneath the trees. There are reasons why people have done so much digging here in this spot. It's because the crystals are weathering out of the hump, this particular big hump as well. So you'll find lots of really nice little small spines in this particular area, really well formed. Here's a real nice transparent little spine. I'll give you a close-up so you can see how transparent it is. It's kind of a nice green as well. Use a little garden shovel, just kind of picking through, it's just constantly seeing, like there's a nice real shiny, don't know if you can see it or not. They're just everywhere, right? You just have to be discerning and decide what you're really looking for, right? What you're willing to settle for. Some have, there's a pretty little face. Hard to see, it's really thin. It's actually just a shard. It's a sliver. Taking the face off and the underneath is gone. So from the diggings up the slope, you end up here with, again, more humps of quartz. The crystals have weathered out or been chipped out, and they've basically gone down slope. It's a little bit like Miners Bay and the tremolite you're finding at Miners Bay as well, right? So, if you want to find the original crystals, you're going to need to remove a little bit of moss and kind of dig into the cavities, and the cavities are where you'll find the crystal faces that are untouched, undamaged. I guess I'm going to call it a day here. It's probably about 11 o'clock. I need to get home, get all this stuff done. One last point, never turned down a chance to go rock hounding. I was down in Wailusing, Towanda area, down in Pennsylvania not so long ago. Searched around, looked at the geology. Sadly, I didn't really find anywhere to do any good rock hounding, but it was kind of a beautiful trip. Checked out the valley there of what was the river called? Susquehanna River. Absolutely beautiful. There's interesting geological stuff down there, but again, don't wherever you're going, use it as an opportunity to check out the local minerals, rocks, geology. That's what I do. I mean, I do a fair bit of travel, but this, of course, is probably one of my favorite areas up around Bancroft. Just on my way out, I find this nice little crystal. I think it's a smoky quartz crystal. See if I can extract it quickly. Good enough. Put the acid bath to that and see what pops out. Probably going to be quite nice in matrix as it is, right? Looks like the truck sunk into the side of the road while I had it parked here. While I was checking out the Grace Lake place. Managed to back it out. I think I'm okay now.